welcome to the StarCraft II Story Q&A panel. Please join me in welcoming our panelists, Chris Smethson and Brian Kindrigan.
Hello.
Hello, BlizzCon.
What would you guys like to talk about?
Hi, Chris. One of the last things Raynor said to Tychus was, Tychus, if we can save her, I'm going to take her away from this place. Can you elaborate?
We can't say too much about Heart of the Swarm, I don't think. But it looks like Chris was about to say something, and I cut him off.
No, I was going to remark that, oh, wow, we're at the StarCraft panel. The brain's catching up a little bit. Oh.
I can say, I mean, Jim has spent a lot of time thinking about, you know, what ifs and all of the possibilities that were out there for him and Sarah. With the sort of bond that they had from back in the day. So it's certainly true that he spent a lot of time thinking about, you know, what if I could get her back somehow? What if I could save her? So he won't be entirely making things up as he goes along.
Can you rephrase the question?
It's a tricky question, because I want to handle it delicately. But
So do I.
you surprised the hell out of us with how things ended in the first chapter. We all thought we knew how it was going to end, that things weren't going to work out the way they did. But you surprised the hell out of us.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, it was amazing. I was like, there's no way, we all know this isn't going to work. It's going to end on a really dark note, and Jim's just going to be crushed. But you guys were like, yeah? No, that's not how it's going to happen. And you surprised the hell out of us. So I think we all thought how this was going to go down a certain path. Heart of the Swarm, Kerrigan being a bitch, evil, horrible person. Third chapter, Protoss, Zeratul coming in, saving the day. But you turned everything on its head with how things ended with the first chapter. So I think we're all kind of wondering how Kerrigan's really going to play this out now that she's no longer the Queen of Blades.
Right. Well, I mean, that's kind of the question, right? Obviously, we can't get too into it or into very specific answers because that's exactly what we're building right now. We want to spoil the whole story. But it's interesting, like the last number, I'll rip a little bit, the last number of BlizzCons, right? Mm-hmm. We've been up here and we haven't been able to say anything, right? Because the game wasn't out yet. So it's really weird. It's kind of hitting me at this BlizzCon. We can actually talk about StarCraft. Although we don't want to give a whole lot away relative to Heart of the Swarm at all, I think we can talk thematically about this girl, about this guy, for sure. So the whole crux of this thing is, what will this girl do now? She has only ever been manipulated by, you know, whether it was the Dominion and then Mengsk and then, you know, this overmind, right? She has only ever been manipulated. Has she really ever made her own decisions? Has she ever really known who she is and chosen who she wants to be? So essentially, Heart of the Swarm is aptly named, right? It is exactly about that. What will this girl do? Do these two lonely, wonderful people have a chance in hell?
You are who you choose to be.
You are who you choose to be, man. But that cuts right to it. So again, there's not too much we can say to reveal what's going on in Heart of the Swarm, but oh hell, I forgot what the question was.
Other than to say, I hope we keep surprising you that much.
Hell yeah.
That was pretty huge. If you can keep surprising us like that, you guys are just on the top of your game. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Irene, and I was just wondering if we can look forward to seeing more of Valerian Manx in the Heart of the Swarm.
I'm sensing a trend here. Everybody wants to talk about Heart of the Swarm. I think it's safe to say that Valerian is a very important part of the Caprulu sector and everything that's going on there. So yeah, I don't think he's going to disappear.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Valerian definitely has a role to play in how things shake out.
Awesome.
So yes.
Thank you so much.
Hello. My question is about the Dark Templar. Specifically, their unit is described in the game as using warp blade technology. How would you describe that, and in what way does it compare to a Zealot's psionic blades?
That's a good one.
Off the top of my head, psi blades come from within, and warp blades are pulled from without.
Basically,
Power of the cosmos, baby.
yeah, I mean, basically, any Protoss that is a part of the Kala is going to have enormous psionic energy to draw on, and can create, you know, obviously, weapons and blades with it. The Dark Templar, you know, in all of the lore, because they chose to go their own way, and they don't have the power of the Kala behind them, but they have the power of enormously strong individual will. It's sort of, I mean, I'm giving a long-winded version of the same answer, I think, that Chris just gave. You know, one is pulling that power from within, whereas the Dark Templar have to take what is around them, the void,
right,
and manifest it. So it is a completely different philosophy, but both are really cool weapons.
Thank you very much.
All right, my name is Steven. First off, just want to say hello to Josh and Mandy who are watching at home, and this question is also from them as well as myself. Simply put, Wings of Liberty, great campaign, loved it, just loved it, especially the ending. There are a few missions, such as the Colonist mission, I believe the final Colonist mission, and then also the one with New Folsom, where you have to make a choice and what you choose to do, which direction you want to take. What I would like to know is, though, are you guys ever going to kind of let us know which decision you think or is going to be the canon direction, or is it strictly going to be left up to the player's interpretation based on what they chose? I only ask this just because, you know, the things that we encountered in those missions obviously will have pretty big implications later on.
Sure. Yeah, I can say that we do say that the A choice that you made was the canon decision. So in terms of StarCraft canon, Raynor sided with Tosh, and Raynor helped the colonists against Selendis. That said, I really would like to not have any player feel like their choice has been invalidated. So, I mean, in general, except for when, you know, the implications become overpowering, I think I'm going to try to stay away from going back and examining that stuff, except when we really need to, so that you can play the game and really feel like your choices are being carried forward. And we do have the technology to check your save game, by the way. Anything to add?
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Hi. First, I've got a really, really simple yes or no question. The official sort of insurrection and retribution campaigns from the original StarCraft, are those canon or not? And then more importantly, what's going on with Samir Duran? Because we didn't see him at all in Wings of Liberty, although we did see the fruits of his labors.
So to the first point, I don't know. My instinct tells me that they should not be canon. But I'd have to look at them again, because there's probably good DNA there that might be useful. Huh? Sure. So relative to Duran, yeah.
He is not forgotten. We could certainly say that.
Insurrection?
Duran is part of a larger story that is still unfolding. You know, there's hints of it in Wings of Liberty. There's more hints of it than you might think, in the sense that at a later date, when you have more